Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have with me Mr. Punit Jain, CEO from Servosys Solutions. Punit ji, a warm welcome to you. And how are you doing today?
I'm fine, and thanks a lot for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Punit ji. So, Punit ji, first of all, glad to have you at the 8th Annual India Banking Summit and Awards. And we are very much delighted and humbled by the support of Servosys Solutions as one of our major partner and sponsor. And of course, we are graced by your presence as well in this ceremony. You are such an industry expert. So, we have some, specific questions for you. So, my first question, Punit ji, to you is that you being a veteran in the industry, what are your thoughts and processes, and what do you feel about the future of the Indian banking industry?
So, Indian banking industry has been at a very, very interesting crossroads right now. We have all seen the NPA crisis of the banks. They had given out huge corporate loans in the last decade. And now only they have written off all those huge loans, some have been recovered. Now the banking industry's balance sheets are much more clean. And it's a boom time for them right now because the industry is booming. They are giving out loans with much more care. The proportion of the retail loans is much higher than the corporate loans. While giving corporate loans, they are much more careful now. So the quality of lending is improved, the quality of the balance sheet is improved, and the profitability is improved. As a result, we are seeing huge rises in the stock prices of banks and NBFCs everywhere.
Right, right.
So that is the past. Now, where do we go from here? So right now, the way we see the banking industry is that, I would like to highlight 3 points. One is that the role of technology is improving, is increasing day by day. Digital transformation is becoming important in every small area of banks. Earlier, it used to be important for some selected areas. Now it's important everywhere. So technology is being used not only to make things better, faster, cheaper, but also to launch new products and services which were not possible without technology.
True, sir.
We see, that the role of branches is getting lower and lower. Customers come from, through the internet banking, apps, phone, everything. They don't need to visit the branches unless they want to get some specific thing done. So role of technology is increasing and to make them agile and also to launch new products and services which are possible only through technology. One example of this is that, why should every borrower be given the same interest rate? Every borrower will have different risk profile. So, based on the risk, you can assess the risk properly, you can quantify the risk, and you can give differential interest rates to each customer based on the risk.
Absolutely.
That is possible now. It was not possible earlier, it is possible now. So, that is one example of what is possible through technology. Second thing I would like to highlight besides digital transformation is that the banks used to be interested only in larger business, larger loans, larger ticket size earlier. They were not willing to go to very Indian hinterlands, rural areas. But NBFCs, which is a different sub-segment of the banking industry, they have shown that there is huge business available in the Indian hinterlands, in the villages, rural areas. And obviously, banks are now reassessing their business models to reach these places, to, on one hand, to compete with the NBFCs, but on the other hand, to collaborate with the NBFCs so that they can leverage the close customer connect of the NBFCs to do their own business. For example, co-lending. The emergence of co-lending is a very, very good example of this collaboration between NBFCs and banks. Banks have huge amount of money lying with them, idle because of deposits which they attract. But they don't get customers in rural area. I mean, they don't get customers because most of the customers, the next frontier is rural areas and, the people below the pyramid, at the bottom of the pyramid, how to reach them. On the other hand, NBFCs have a much better reach to the hinterlands and to the people below the pyramid, at the bottom of the pyramid. But they have no money to lend. They have to borrow the money from the banks. So now they are coming to collaborate with each other. Banks will give money, NBFCs will get customers for them, and they both will work together so that the idle deposits of the banks are utilized better and better in lending And the quality of the lending will improve because the bank will enforce the processes and the due diligence on the NBFC.
Absolutely.
So that is the number two thing. The number three things is the focus on the compliance. I mean, we have seen recently that what has happened to Paytm Payment
Yeah,
Bank.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, RBI shut it down because they were not following a lot of things. The second example we saw was the gold lending business of IIFL was shut down. So the RBI, the regulators are getting very, very strict nowadays. They will not tolerate any lapses, the continuous lapses from banks and NBFCs. So there's too much focus now on from banks on compliances and improvement of the processes. So that is one area which everybody is now thinking and assessing and reviewing how we can improve our processes so that we can improve our compliances.
Absolutely, sir.
So that the regulators are not able to impose fines, and now the regulators have power to shut a business down if the compliances are not
Not on the
on are not met for a long time continuously.
Absolutely.
So one has to be very, very careful now, much more careful than they used to be earlier.
Absolutely true, sir. Agree with you, sir. So coming to the next point, Punitji, a very important question here. Where do you see Servosys playing a key role in addressing the core challenges faced by the banks these days?
So Servosys has been in business for the last 10 years, servicing large banks like ICICI and Axis Bank and many other small banks and NBFCs to improve their processes through digital transformation, through business process management and document management products. So Servosys is basically a document management and business process management products company. Through these products, we can build solutions which can improve the processes of banks. Processes can be customer facing, like the account opening process, where you can do much better due diligence now to sort of open the account. You can do much better KYC because that is a big problem, because of which Paytm got shut down. So we enable that on one hand. On the other hand, we enable the improvement of the lending processes. When the bank is giving money, is lending to a customer, they have to do two, three things very, very well. One is to do a proper KYC while onboarding the customer. Second is to do a proper risk assessment.
Absolutely, sir.
And proper risk assessment will happen when you get more and more data about the customer, which is diverse and correct. So getting the data from diverse sources and then processing the data to come at a credit score and credit risk of each customer quickly, so that the customer is not waiting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the customer will go to some other bank.
Correct.
So you have to do a better risk assessment
Quickly.
much faster. You can't take 3 weeks for it. If you're giving a home loan, you can't take three weeks, 4 weeks for it. You have to still do it in 1 or 2 days. So that is what we enable. We make the processes agile through our BPM products, so that you can improve the processes, you can make them faster, but at the same time, the processes also become better without compromising any of the quality of the processes and the effectiveness of the processes. So one should not be able to say that because I did it fast, so I could not do the proper due diligence.
True.
So that is what we enable.
Absolutely, sir. I think Services is doing a great job, by the way, in doing that, and I'm sure the company is going to grow strength from strength to even better. Now, when it comes to strength from strength, my last and final question to you: roadmap where you see your organization in the next 5 years transforming the banking sector.
So we have actually, in the last 10 years, we have reached a stage where we have improved many processes of ICICI Bank and Axis Bank and ESAF Bank, etc., and many NBFCs. Where do we go from here? In the next 5 years, we would like to improve the processes of many, many more banks, many, many more NBFCs. We want to improve the lending processes and the account opening processes, and also the customer service handling processes, because every bank has thousands and millions of customers, and these customers may have queries. They all have to be addressed, however complex it is, however silly it is. Every customer has to be responded within a certain time. so that no customer feels cheated, no customer feels sort of, let down by the banks. So those are the processes we sort of improve in a way that the bank becomes more effective and the customers get faster response from the banks. So we would like to do it for more and more customers, not only in India, but also in international markets like Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. So that is number one. Number two is we would like to launch more products which are adjacent to our current offerings. Like we have focused more on account opening processes and loan origination systems so far. We can do the same in the full, if you look at the full value chain of lending of a bank, there is collections. Correct. There is maybe loan management system. Many customers ask us, you are giving us LOS, but can you give us LMS also?
Right.
No, we don't have LMS, but we would like to develop, one day, very soon.
Correct.
Many people ask us for collections. We don't have collections today, but we would like to develop collection systems also soon, so that we can satisfy more and more of their requirements from a single window.
Absolutely. And sir, I think with your vision and guidance, definitely you would. So I think Services is anyways transforming the banking industry a lot, and I, absolutely have full faith that it's going to transform, as you rightly said, by going with the demands of the customers which you have, and you already cater to some of the major banks in India and the major NBFCs, and I only see your client base growing and growing in the future. So, sir, wonderful having you here, and it was always an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, one single liner, if you can, like a punchline, as an industry veteran, not just from Services, as an industry veteran, what do you recommend for the bankers?
For the bankers, improve your processes, make them more agile, make them faster, better, cheaper. Also use technology to launch new products and new services for your customers, which your competitors have not done so far. And sort of use technology in a way which is not only to make things better, faster, cheaper, but also to improve compliance and also to get a lead in the market to reach your customer faster, to have a much better connect with the customer.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for those words of wisdom. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Punit Jain signing off. Thank you so much once again.